Hello there. Good night. Welcome to another conversation with Rickford Burke. Good night, everybody, wherever you're watching from. I hope you're having a good time. Thank you all for the birthday wish. I had a wonderful, peaceful birthday celebration yesterday. Thank the thousands of you who wished me a happy birthday. I receive all your best wishes and your prayers, and I pray that you guys will be blessed as well. Share the link, everybody. If you're watching from Facebook, if you're watching from YouTube or Instagram, follow me, like the page that you're watching from, or subscribe to YouTube. Call up all your relatives and friends. Share this link to all of your social media platforms and your friends. Let them know the conversation with Rickford Burke is on. If you're watching here from New York City, it's a little chilly and overcast. We had some snow today. It's just about 9:06 p.m. Good night to you. If you're watching from anywhere else on the East Coast in the United States, good night to you. If you're watching from California and the other states on the west coast of the United States, good evening. You're watching from Guyana, good night. It's just about 10:06 p.m. in Guyana, the rest of the Caribbean, good night, everybody. If you're watching from Africa, my friends from Africa and Europe and Asia, good night to you. Lots of people watch this show from India and from Nigeria and other parts of Africa. Welcome to the show. It's good morning to you all there. Good morning to my special friends in the U.S. Army who watch this show every time it's on from Japan and Germany. My friend from the West Coast and my friend from the East Coast. Good night to you all and good morning to you all. I hope you're having a good time. Share this link, everybody. Share the link. Take some time to share this link. Good night to my folks in Bartica. Text me, let me know. Very interesting day. Text me, let me know where you are watching from. Let me go over to my comment section and see the people who are telling me good night and see where they're watching from. Good night to you, Nicole Bernard. Good night to you, Shondell Griffith. Where are you watching from? That was wet snow, yes. So it's melted. And then we had a little bit of rain, so it's gone. There'll be no snow on the ground tomorrow. Good night to you, Kenneth DeFlormat, watching all the way from Fort Washington, Maryland. Good night to you. Good night. Yeah. Euclid Griffith, good night to you. Lambert, good night to you. Lambert, I can't pronounce the last name you have there. It's moving too fast. Sandra Ford, good night to you. Welcome from Queenstown. Welcome to you in Queenstown. Good night, Sonia Rigby, watching from the Bronx, New York. Good night, Yolanda Hercules, watching from the Dutch Caribbean island of, that went by very quickly. Good night to you from Los Angeles. Miss Nelson, good night. Donna McDonald, Buxton in the house. Buxton is my people. Share this thing, everybody. Get into all your guidance group. Sure. Good night. Somebody watching from Tushin, Marcus Blue or Block. Good night to you. Thank you for your birthday wish, Paul Henry. Good night to you. Good night, Llewellyn Johnson, watching all the way from Canada. Good night, Danny Slow, watching from Trinidad and Tobago. Good night. I see something. Upright You Bridge Mohan. Good night to you. Miss Stanford, good night. Terrell Fraser, good night from California. Good night, Keith Birchford from New Jersey. That's a faithful follow up the show. Share the link, everybody. Come on, let's get a couple of thousand people up here. This show is growing. Thank you. And I think Barry Jagger Day is getting a little jealous. This show is growing. So let me see how many people watched the show the last time. The last show on Sunday with Nigel Hughes. Let's see. Okay. In the meantime, share the link. Wow. So just so you know, this is I'm looking at it from a different phone, just so you know. You see my viewership for the last 28 days it's fading out. My viewership for the last 28 days, what it says, 3.2 million. 3.2 million. That's my viewership. You can see up there, Rickford Burke. That's my page. 3.2 million. Just in case the Jagabats want to doubt that, let's go into the. You can see there again, my viewership for the last 3.2 million. So let's see the viewership for the last 90 days. That says from November 9th to February 6th, 7.7 million. From November. So that's for the Jagabats. And Barry Jagger is getting very, very, very jealous. He's like, why is Nigel Hughes going on Rickford Burke's show? Well, Nigel Hughes goes on any show that he wants. The PPP can't dictate to us who our leaders are and where our leaders must go to air their views and ventilate their political concerns. I mean, who is this man? Okay, so let's see countries. Let me see. Let me see Nigel Paul. Last Sunday, Nigel was on. Wow, 51,000. So since then, 51,000. This is on Facebook alone. YouTube is probably 20,000. So it's about 7 to 1,000 people watch that. Watch that show. Oh wow! Today alone. Today, the video that we posted with the police having us identify critic, 147, if you can see properly. Oh wow, 147,000 people watch that video. So spread the word, tell everyone to come to. I have to monetize my page. Tell everyone the place to watch is Conversation with Rickford Burke. The page to be on to get the latest update of political developments in Ghana is Rickford Burke's Facebook page. Come on, share the link, everybody. Keep sharing the link, keep sharing the link, keep sharing the link. All right, interestingly, so today our topic is The topic is PPP corruption. I'm sorry, I'm responding to some messages here. PPP corruption, fraud at the Ministry of Housing, and the dismissal of Calvin Brutus, former assistant commissioner of police. I'm sure Brutus is going to challenge that in court. I'm drinking Gatorade tonight. Feel a little dehydrated. Share the link, everybody. Keep sharing the link. So let me deal with the issues of today. So this morning I was on my way to Manhattan when I got this call that Guyanese critic, who normally I don't pay attention to. I don't even know what he says on his show. I don't pay attention to it. He's a miscreant. He's a non-entity. He's nobody. He's the biggest imbecile out of Guyana. So why would I pay attention to such a miscreant? But today, I got a call that he was actually in the United States in Brooklyn on Church Avenue, calling me all sorts of names. And then I started receiving all of these calls that the thing says on WhatsApp, Guyanese critic. A lot of calls. And over a number of years, critics has been calling me, threatening me, calling me live. People would call me, record him, calling me live. One time somebody called me while he was actually calling me. I am looking at him and I'm seeing him calling me, and he's so proud to announce it, calling me, making all these derogatory comments. I mean, he doesn't know that that is a crime in the United States, harassing people. So, I'm going to text you. I just got a call. Sorry. I'm going to text you back. All right. Yeah. So, he was making these calls, and, what we were advised by the federal government is that based on what has been happening, the constant threats, people coming to my home with guns, police have to come and be outside of my home, etc. When these things happen, report them. If they happen 20 times a day, report them to the NYPD. NYPD is the first responders. Keep sharing the link, everybody. So I have a number of reports with the NYPD against persons in Guyana calling and harassing me. In addition to that, he has been constantly giving out my home address, giving out my phone number, and pursuant to him doing that, people have been calling me, making their threats, including today. So they had a well-coordinated campaign to call and threaten me today and harass me. And so I contacted the NYPD's command, and they said, go meet him where he is, identify him to the police. So for those people who think that I was on Church Avenue to spend idle time with critic, no. I was out there to identify him to the police. But he probably got wind of it and he ran. He went to Queens. By this time, CGID's firm, the firm that we hire, the private investigation firm that we hire, we notify them, and they followed him to Queens and located where he was. And Melissa Atwell, Melly Mel, also has police reports against him. And Melly and I happened to meet there, and we identified him to the police. Now, there was some information missing that we didn't have when we made those initial reports from since 2003, 2001, or whatever it is. We didn't have all of his information, so it was not conducive for the police issuing a warrant for him. But today, our police sources gave us that information from Guyana. So we have all of his information now. And I'm going to meet with law enforcement again tonight to discuss this issue. So that's an update on critic. But critic is not important, and I'm not going to spend more time on it, except to say this is not Guyana. And let me say this. I don't know this man from Adam. I don't know him. I never did him anything. We've never had an issue. This man has just been sent by Barrett Jagdale to start attacking us. At least me. I don't know him from Adam. I don't know him from a hole in the wall. I associate with people of a little higher intellect. Right? Now, today, the man is so stupid. I understand on a control police call this evening, he confirmed certain things. So in other words, the police set up a call for somebody who knows him or somebody who, I don't know what it is, but the NYPD had a control call to Critics Tonight, and he confirmed certain things that they're investigating. He confirmed it. So, I mean, this guy really thinks that the United States is Guyana. Now, what is very disturbing is that I understand that he went to either the place of business or the place of residence of one of Melissa Atwell's relatives. Now, that is very, very concerning. And again, in this country, there are laws to protect yourself. And I want to tell all of those people, all Guyanese out there, but Melissa's relatives, that if you live in a state with stand your ground, you can use deadly force to protect yourself. That's the law. If you live in New York where there's no stand your ground, you can also defend yourself. When someone comes to your property, you can defend yourself. You can take proactive measures to defend yourself. Proactive measures to defend yourself, including calling 911. Listen, we would not tolerate these miscreants from the PPP being bold enough, emboldened by the fact that Sarabo came to my home with a gun and threatened me, and Caesar came here and tried to hire somebody to kill me, and they think they got away with it because no immediate action was taken by the Biden administration, that they think they could send critics into the United States to threaten us. And then Barrett Jagdale had the gall to come on today and attack me and say Nigel Hughes came on my show and I'm a criminal. Barrett Jagdale, another miscreant, a cricketer, a man who grew up eating cricketer and cockabelly. A long belly dal and rice cricketer. I mean, the fact that these guys have the gumption to be attacking black people as criminals because now they have oil money. Barrett Jagdale is a murderer. He should be in jail or have gotten the death penalty. Keep sharing the link, everybody. He's a killer. He's a killer worse than Desi Bouteflika, the former president of Suriname, who was jailed for orchestrating the murder of 15 people. Barrett Jagdale orchestrated the murder of over 1,400 people. And he's attacking me. I mean, I never do Barrett nothing. All we do is call for justice. Who did it? Francis Barrett Jagdale, that he think that he could orchestrate the murder of Ronald Waddle and 14 other people, Guyanese, young black men, and then orchestrate the murder of Camuing, or his operatives did, with impunity, and then attack those of us calling for justice. This miscreant, this barefoot hustler, this rusty tin cup hustler, this two-bit thief, Barrett Jagdale, who is living off of the earnings, living off of the earnings of the Guyanese people from whom he allegedly stole his government according to a study done by Clive Thomas, stole over $5 billion. Sorry, not his government. The people in his government, including him, stole over $5 billion US dollars from the treasury owned by the Guyanese people. The land he lived on was stolen. The house that he lives in. Got it by actually alleged stolen money. He must explain his wealth. He was caught. Barrett Jagdeo was caught on video trying to collect a $500,000 US bribe, hundreds of million dollars. The man is a criminal. He is the biggest crook Guyana has ever produced, and he's the biggest racist Guyana has ever produced. He's a plague, he's a cancer on the backs of the Guyanese people, because even the water he drinks, he ain't buy it with your money, he buys it with money that he allegedly stole from the Guyanese people. He's a thief. Perching in the vice presidency of Guyana. A racist extraordinary of the magnitude of apartheid racists in South Africa. He wants to divide the nation. He wants to hire Afro-Guyanese so that he could pit them against Afro-Guyanese. He wants to use black people to fight against black people. You check and see anytime there's a confrontation, he doesn't have the gall to do it alone. He doesn't have the balls. He's a coward. He's nothing but a trench crapo and a crab dam cockroach. A unity cricketer. And when you respond to these people, they want to use their powers in the government to attack you. Coercive law enforcement powers. I see they just arrested businessman Terence Campbell because he responded to them. Full autocracy. And the diplomatic community in Guyana tolerate them. Look at Critic. Critic comes to the United States to threaten me. I never do the man nothing. But they feel so empowered because they have oil money. And because Critic was given a contract, I heard in Parliament, he cocked the people. Even the minister says so, he cocked them. Today, Jagdeo said he didn't know if Critic had a contract. Collected $187 million and never do the work. Of the people's money. Keep sharing the link, everybody. And these people don't want to talk. We live in a country of freedom of speech. But when we talk here, they want to charge us in Guyana for criticizing them. And based on that, calling black people criminals. Well, Barrett Jagdeo, if you think black people are criminals, why don't you exile yourself to Calcutta? Exile yourself to Calcutta, India. If you think that black people are criminals. And for all the people who support the PPP, they support what Barrett Jagdeo is doing. They support his views that black people are criminals who criticize the government. And I have warned the Afro-Guyanese community in Guyana not to be fooled by the PPP. The PPP does not like Afro-Guyanese. They hate us. They have slaughtered us throughout history. Check the history. The PPP dislike, the hatred that the PPP has for Afro-Guyanese was bequeathed to Barry Jagdeo. And all of the racist policies you see him implementing, it's an exercise in hate. Hate for the Afro-Guyanese psyche. Whenever you see Barry Jagdeo, you must visualize the hate. He must be the symbol, he must be seen as a symbol of hatred for Black people. That's what he is. Let us tell it. No polishing here. He formed death squads and orchestrated those death squads to slaughter Black people, young Black men. And he has the audacity to sit down calling Black people criminals because he hasn't faced justice. And today, he defended the fraud at the Ministry of Housing. Widespread fraud. Listen, Guyanese, listen up. There will be no more lands for your children and your great-grandchildren to purchase in Guyana when the PPP is finished with Guyana. My sources at the Lands and Surveys Department tell me that they have grabbled up almost all of the commercial lands in Guyana. You know, like how Vera owns an estate? That's what they're trying to create. PPP East Indians owning the entire land, all the lands in the country. So you must go and buy from them now. All the lands. And then Barry Jagdeo and his whole PR machinery got the effrontery, got the gall to attack Nigel Hughes because they say Nigel Hughes bought 75 acres of land. Give me a break. So what? Only East Indians can buy land from the PPP because they're not even giving land to the East Indians who don't support them. If Nigel Hughes purchased land with his own money, and that money he stole from the Guyanese people, so what? Is it because he's an Afro-Guyanese? He's not entitled to buy land? And they come up with this thing, oh, Nigel Hughes bought 75 acres of land, like it was a criminal activity. Then you got ministers of the government engaged in quid pro quo, where they're giving away state property in Guyana and collecting the payment up here in house and land. Tonight I heard that investigations in this country have uncovered where they're channeling money to the Dominican Republic through the Guyana Embassy in Washington. That's where the money trail has led. Monies from the embassy is being transferred to an account in the Dominican Republic. We can find out is who. They must be spinning right now, calling them, Bork nobody thing in the DR. Yes, we know. We find it out today. Millions of dollars. The PPP is funneling to some source, some entity or person in the Dominican Republic through Washington. My understanding, it's a PPP initiative, but the government monies are paying for it. So Barry Jagdeo, we want to know, who this money is being funneled to in the Dominican Republic. Who? Corruption? Guyana has now become probably the most corrupt country in the world, if not very close to the top. Rampant corruption. Rampant corruption. And they calling Afro-Guyanese people criminals. Everybody's a criminal. Burke is a criminal. What's his crime? Oh, he criticizes the government. Oh, and we made up a thing, sir, because we want catchy. We say he extorting business people. Can't find the proof yet. Give the evidence. Send it to the United States government. Just now here, Melly Mel extort everything. I mean, that's the only thing they could do. They are the epitome of Jim Crow racism. The only thing they could do to attack black people is say we thief and we criminal. And that is part of their congenital propensities. Fraud, them in the PPP. It is in their DNA. That's why Barry Jack, they were so corrupt. He born so. Or the PPP ingratiated into him, because the PPP is not a political party, it's a criminal enterprise. Criminal enterprise. They killed out all these 1,400 young black men, murdered them. And now, 15 years later, they want to tell us, no, it's not true. We did not kill anybody. This is tabloid news. This tabloid news, Guyana's premier law enforcement investigative institution, conducted an investigation. And that investigation determined that only 400 black people were killed, and that's acceptable. And the nation, you swallow it because black lives don't matter. Those people were criminals. You see how the criminality come in? They frame, if I was in Guyana, Barjack, they would have orchestrated my murder, my assassination. And then they would have put out a statement and said it was a criminal. And people must not be concerned with it. No. Would they like if somebody to do that to their East Indian supporters? No. And we will condemn it just as strongly. And let me say this matter of the slaughter of over 1,400 young black men is not going to go away. We will put it on Bar Jagdale's head like a crown of thorns. And we will have it over his head like a dangling 2-ton sword. They would never get away with it. The people who killed civil rights activists in America during the 1960s, eventually almost all of them were brought to justice 30 and 40 years later. Justice don't sleep. Sorry, doesn't die. Might be a little dormant. The PPP is a murderous party. Barrett Jagdale is a criminal. Barrett Jagdale is literally on the same par with Roger Khan when it comes to criminality. They're co-conspirators. They're co-conspirators. And we must get justice. So, Barjagdeo said, oh, all these lands that are being talked about, so what? They're legitimate. We have a contract, they paid the money, and they got the land, and that's a legitimate deal. He ain't talking about the back end of it where government ministers are getting money in the United States, bribes, kickbacks for those deals. Well, of course, Barjack, they wouldn't see that as corrupt. If corruption, grandfather, great-grandfather, and the cousins smack him in his face, he wouldn't even know. Because he's part of that generation. It's in his DNA. He's constituted by corruption. It's congenital. Hereditary, maybe, I don't know. Political hereditary being PPP, pass it on from member to member, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, the land deals are legitimate. Just like now he wants to legitimize the murder, the slaughter, the genocide. From tonight, we must call him Genocide Jagdeo. Genocide Jagdeo. Let me see everybody go in the comments and type it. Genocide Jagdeo. Genocide Jagdeo wants us now to believe that he had nothing to do with the murders and that the murders were all legitimate, just like the corruption. It's all legitimate. Genocide Jagdeo. Go in the comments. I'm typing it. Genocide Jagdeo. Go ahead. Type it. Everybody. Type it on your social media. Text it to everybody. Let us popularize this name. Genocide Jagdeo. Genocide Jagdeo. The land deals are all legitimate. Yeah? They're circling the wagons. Now just imagine that. Let me see if I still have that thing where they broke down the homes of the people at Mocha. See if I have that video still. Look at this.
This was a scene at KNV Mocha Arcade today as the Ministry of Housing, accompanied by members of the Riot Squad of the Guyana Police Force, moved to demolish the structures occupied by squatters who failed to accept the compensation offered by the government. The Housing Ministry said the land on which the persons are on form part of the construction of the Eccles to Great Diamond Highway. Shots were fired by the police and persons were arrested, while angry residents threw bricks, bottles, and flammable objects at the police. At one point, the excavator caught fire.
What did they do? Like, me want to talk no more, man. It does everything damaged. Them telling me for coming one by one. Them saying that the we house ward. In these hard times, when you can pay 6 million or 5 million or 2 million for these things they know. Then what's expensive? Nails expensive. Board expensive. Everything gone high. We bed broke up. Everything broke up. What I sleep. I need funny. Then the rain wet me up. If I take I the road. I'm a homeless girl now. Now I'm a homeless girl.
And this is totally wrong what the people doing. This is totally wrong. These people need to give we justice. 20-something years now we family live over here, boss. Actually 30 years now. Where we going?
The area was surrounded by the police and housing officials who were executing the exercise. They first started by removing the bridge and then this house and business place. The owner was standing her ground against the demolition when she was arrested and dragged through the mud by the police. For several minutes, she and the police wrestled until she decided to go. Moments later, her house came crashing down. The operator did not stop there. He destroyed all the beverages and other items the woman had for sale. Some were covered by the debris. By this time, some squatters started to remove their household, livestock, and other items. Opposition leader Orby Norton arrived on the scene and tried to reason with the police and the housing officials.
Why can't they meet in a civilized way?
Things got heated as the exercise continued, with residents pelting the police, who returned fire. Opposition MP Roysdale Ford, Coretta MacDonald, and other MPs were on hand to see the destruction.
What we see happening here is transgression to the max, oppression to the max. And I'm saying people will have to stand up at some point for their rights, because we cannot allow history to keep repeating itself.
There's more than just a possibility. I believe that there's a high probability that legal proceedings will have to be instituted by the people who would have been suffering, by the families who have been suffering this sort of demolition and complete destruction to the property.
Now, the government of Guyana said they did that to those people because they were in the way of a highway. Lie. The highway is done. The place is still there. And you know what they're doing? They're dividing it up and selling it cheap to East Indian businessmen who support the PPP. Balde will get 30 acre, this one get 30 acre, that one get 30 acre. Some ambassador in Washington or deputy ambassador get how much acre? They're dividing up the land that they shoot like South African police, Gestapo style. Shot those people off their lands like dogs. Drag them through the mud. Shot at them. The exact tactic they use to run black people off their lands in South Africa. The land is still there. The highway is completed. There is even a highway, a road has been completed. The land is still there. They lied to the nation. Their strategy was to remove those black people so they could give the land to East Indians. PPP East Indian supremacy. PPP East Indian supremacy. Will you stand up for your rights? You people in Guyana will allow this to keep happening? And then Jack Dale gets on his high horses and call people low life and criminals because we're talking about those types of atrocities? You think about it. Oppression, South Africa. Oppression, apartheid. Oppression, PPP. Oppression, Jack Dale. Oppression. Let it sink in. Oppression. In 2025, the Afro-Guyanese people and the Amerindians and East Indians who don't support the PPP are subject to oppression from the PPP. Police brutality. 2025. The rest of the world silent. When I close tonight, I'll read you a quote that is profound. No, the government has announced that Assistant Commissioner of Police Calvin Brutus has been fired by the Police Service Commission. A big joke. It was so transparent. Their plot was so transparent. Right? Now, the process to fire Brutus, there's a statement CGID issued today. Well, CGID will issue tomorrow. Guyana's Police Service Commission yesterday dismissed Assistant Commissioner of Police Calvin Brutus. The process to fire Brutus was executed with record lightning speed. Why? Barjagdev instructed them to do so. They transparently set up a scenario for a PPP East Indian, Rabindranath Budram, to be the next police commissioner. So nobody fool yourself. They're not racist. They have made Hicken. No, Hicken is a sacrificial guy. The dismissal is garbage. The dismissal is garbage. I hold a brief for the assistant commissioner. I was one of the first people that spoke out. But if you want to be holding people accountable, you have to hold everybody accountable. The Constitution gives every Guyanese the right to equal protection, meaning we must be treated equally. Even Rabindranath Budram got serious allegations made against him. Oh no, we not hear, me not see, me not know. Rabindranath Budram is a PPP Indian. We are supreme. The law is not for us. That's their attitude. The statement continues. The actions of the Police Service Commission are unconstitutional. The commission is not currently fully constituted. No provision in the Guyana Constitution authorizes a partial commission to execute the functions of the entire commission. The commission in the Constitution means the fully constituted body with all of its members. So whenever the Constitution talks about the Police Service Commission, it means all of its members. I mean, like, it is not a majority. The majority is for when it votes. But the commission means all three commissioners. I don't think the Constitution intended for a couple of people of similar political persuasions to function as the commission. Even if the three of them together have the same political views, the two of them can't function on behalf of the three of them. That's the point I'm making. The commission is not fully constituted. There's no provision in the Constitution that says if there's a vacancy in the commission, that the commission shall be deemed fully constituted when it acts. There's nowhere in the Constitution that says that. The statement continues. The unlawful commission appointed a tribunal to investigate and to fire Brutus. That was the function. Investigate and fire. Not to investigate if there is any breach of discipline. No, it was to pretend to investigate, but go ahead and fire. Right? That's what Barjagdev wants. And that was directed by Barjagdev, as I said. The PPP Spanish Inquisition is a kangaroo court, as it is deliberately operating simultaneously to criminal proceedings against Brutus in the magistrate court for the exact same allegations that the tribunal was appointed to investigate. They charged Brutus with over 260 crimes and placed him before the magistrate's court. However, while the criminal case is sub judice, the illegal commission appointed the illegal tribunal to investigate the said charges being adjudicated in the magistrate's court. Worst, the tribunal sought to compel Brutus to testify at his kangaroo hearings. But clearly, any testimony Brutus provides to the kangaroo tribunal can be used against him in the criminal trial. Let me read it again. Clearly, any testimony Brutus provides to the kangaroo tribunal can be used against him in the criminal trial in the magistrate's court. And the Constitution says you cannot be compelled to testify against yourself or to be a witness against yourself in a criminal proceeding. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. The tribunal, which is operating parallel and simultaneous to the criminal case, to the magistrate's trial, in which the Constitution says Brutus cannot be forced to testify against himself or to give witness against himself in a criminal proceedings. But the tribunal is trying to compel him while the criminal proceeding is going on to give testimony against himself or to testify. And that testimony, if he gives it, can be used against him in the magistrate's court. So basically, they're compelling him to testify against himself in a criminal proceeding, which is prohibited by the Constitution. This directly contradicts the doctrine of natural justice and is therefore repugnant to due process. Fairness. It blatantly violates the constitutional right to fair hearing. It violates the right to not be compelled to testify against yourself in any criminal proceedings. And it violates the right to equal protection under the Constitution. The Constitution says everybody must be treated equally. That's a protection that is enshrined in the Constitution. In other words, you can't treat Hari, Krishna, Buddharam differently than you treat Brutus. You can't. You can't treat Feroz Bacchus Muhammad differently from you treat Savitri Singh. Or you can't treat Savitri Singh differently than you treat Rodriguez from Region 4, Region 9. Every citizen is entitled to equal protection under the law. Worse, gets more interesting. The illegal kangaroo tribunal is headed by Shoshana Lal, who is the Deputy Solicitor General in the Attorney General's office. Shoshana Lal was the government's defense lawyer in all of the cases Brutus brought against the government in the Supreme Court in Guyana, the High Court. And as you know, or you should know, whenever there's a case, whether criminal or civil, there's something called discovery, where both sides, defense and the plaintiff in the civil case, or the state and the defense in the criminal matter, have to give information to each other. Everything pertaining to the case, witness statements, the charging document, the indictment information. You have to share it in order for the other side to be able to prepare their case. So Shoshana Lal has all of that information, including Brutus's perspective on the allegations the police made against him. And they put her to head the tribunal to investigate Brutus to fire him. And then the legal advisor to the kangaroo tribunal is a lawyer as I mentioned, I discussed with Nigel Hughes, who that's what Brutus said, who Brutus said called him and asked him if he wants him to defend Brutus against the government's allegations. Brutus said, nah, buddy, I can hire somebody else. And now he turns around and he's advising the people, the Kangaroo Tribunal, trying Brutus to fire him. Serious ethical challenges. And then Silal Prasad, who's a government either contractor or employee. And then you have the lone house slave, Mr. Williams, attorney at law, Keona Williams. They put you there. Go there and just add a face. You know? Add a face. And they're hiding behind people. But I'm sure if they were to call a press conference, the man leading the press conference going to be the black man. That's what racists always do. 3 East Indians on a commission to fire a black man or person that appears to be black. He's mixed, mostly black. And 1 black token man, Oreo. Sorry, not an Oreo. A house Negro. If I bet you, well, now I talk, they're going to do it. I bet you, my last cent, if that commission ever, prior to me speaking out, had to go and hold a press conference and speak to the public, Keona Williams is the one they would have put to lead the talk. They would have put him to lead the discussion. Yeah, go over there. And, you know, our strategy is whenever we have to attack a black man, we'll use a black man to do it. So we racists, we will be behind. We'll stand back and let the house slave go forward. You remember Stephen in Django? Samuel Jackson played the role of Stephen. We got a couple of Stephens that either work for the PPP or, you know, volunteer for them for favors. Got a couple of Stephens in the PPP. I mean, what happened to decency? What happened to, okay, there are these allegations. Let us do the right thing. Have him before the court. If the court finds him guilty, then you activate the tribunal. You have a reason. The court going on. And you don't determine the man guilty of IE. It is a fundamental attack. It's something they always do with black people or people who go against them. They can't help themselves. And it is all orchestrated by Jack Dale. Jack Dale is going to be the cause of the defeat of the PPP. Jack Dale is going to be the cause of the destruction of the PPP. Guyana is not a democracy. Guyana is a PPP ethnocracy and an autocracy. And when you speak out, they use the coercive arms of the government to get you. They ain't got the bars to do it on their own. They'll get the police to do that, get the police to do that, get the police to do that. Whenever the government changes, even if it's the next 40 years, you got to break up the leadership of the police force, dismantle that thing and build it back, retrain them and build it back. You got to destroy the PPP politically. And you see all them lands they give to them people? That government must be pressured to take it away. Because when the PPP came into power in 2020 and in 1992, they took away the lands of black people. And the international community must be warned that it is going to happen. Even if you got to pass a law, take it back. Take every one of it back. Stand up, people in Guyana. Stand up for your rights. Speak out. The Constitution guarantees you that right. Let me end by this quote for those of you who stand by and do nothing while the PPP devours you, devours your racial group, devours people in the population they don't like. This is a poem by Pastor Martin Niemöller. It says, first, they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. That's what's going to happen to the people of Guyana if you remain silent. There would be no one left to speak for you, the silent ones. You have to speak out, speak up. We can't claim Guyana as a democracy and you're frightened to talk. People send me information all the time, but please don't call my name. I don't call anybody's name, but why the heck you gotta tell me that crap? I can't go on march, I can't speak out. Oh, they ain't want to pay me right salary. The Ministry of Finance circular said I supposed to get $90,000 every month and they only give me 80, but I frightened for talk. No, don't call my name, you could talk generally. Intimidated by racists. And for my friends in the East Indian PPP community, first, they came for the Afro-Guyanese, and you guys didn't speak out because you're not Afro-Guyanese. Then they came for the mixed race, and you guys did not speak out because you're not of mixed race. Then they came for the Amerindians, the indigenous people, and you did not speak out because, of course, you don't think you're indigenous. Then they obliterated the Chinese, and you did not speak for the Chinese because you don't think that you're Chinese. Europeans, they decimated them, and you did not speak up because you're not European. And the time will come when they will come for you because you're poor and you're just ordinary citizens. You're not part of their oligarchy. You're not part of their cabal. And no one will be left to speak for you. Speak up.